Okay, so as I was discussing on the last class, so actually today I'll just give you a resume-added project where you can perform actually. It's a kind of uh, mm, it's a kind of a resume-added project where you can keep in your repository online, nothing but your GitHub, and as well as at your resume also to explain neat and clean. So without making everything as a complex and getting confused. So it's a very neat and clean project where we can deploy so you get some familiarity with it. And similar way, as I was telling, just mute, yeah. So I know, as I was telling in the last class, so we're gonna deploy end-to-end project with a Kubernetes. Okay, so Kubernetes is completely CPU and completely open source tools where real-time organizations are using right now. So with the cloud-based native things, example AWS SageMaker. SageMaker Studio, it is just an optional actually. It is just an optional. If you see many of the project, so SageMaker they will come where they wanted to integrate and just see it is helping or not. So because they don't want to have their own maintaining their environment images and environment configurations and deploying into the cluster side. So it is making more engineering in the infra setup part. So that's why SageMaker will make your life very easy because they are giving you the service. So like this for your processing, training, and deploying. Three things. Okay. So for your process and train your model and deploy your model. So nothing but you get the endpoint. And these are all the options that SageMaker is giving you. That's why it's quite easy comparatively with the other things where you run your own pipelines. Okay, your own pipelines over the GitHub Actions and the Kubernetes side. Studio is again, I was mentioning that Studio is just an optional thing. It is just an optional thing for UI purpose only, like your flight, okay, like your prefit. It is just an optional purpose to see the visual editor. But all options, it is available outside the studio as well. Okay, the options which are available inside the studio, it is also available outside the studio as well. So there are small things are different, which is nothing but MLflow server, RStudio, and Canvas. Those options you will get it from the studio side, which is no code platform for the data engineering people, data science people, and business analytics people, data analytics people, in order to go and deploy their small baseline models and do a small set of data set, and they wanted to deploy and they wanted to get some results over there. So for that experimental, for that POC kind of things, studio is better, but not production level side. So production level side, we only do outside of the studio most of the cases. So if I log in into the AWS, so I'm planning a project where it will give you a one flow of taking data, building, training, deploying the things. Okay. So example, I have SageMaker. AWS things are, yes. So this is my SageMaker. So here in my SageMaker, I have to go with an IAM role. you must and have to create one IAM role. Okay, so which needs to be connect with your SageMaker and other resources as well. And similar way, you need to have S3 bucket where you can keep all the data into the S3 bucket actually. Okay, so this has to connect to this one. And all your data is going to pull and push into your SageMaker side. So this is a standard process again. Okay, this is a standard process where everyone do the same practice from the S3 most of the times. Otherwise, you have any other resources. Okay, now I have GitHub. So here is my GitHub. My GitHub, I will be running the GitHub Actions. So I'll run GitHub Actions workflows. Okay. GitHub Action workflows. So this is my pipelines. Nothing but these are workflows are nothing but pipelines only. So in your real-time repositories, you might be having infra setup, okay, Docker setup, and you will have the scripts of triggering this pipeline. Okay, so entire your code configurations of your SageMaker would be present from your workflows only under the scripts, under scripts repository, and some you will see some code folder like this, and you will see some inference folder like this. Okay, and infra folder like this. So where it will be uh, config file will be there. Okay, like endpoint config file. So these kind of files would be present in your repository. So this is one time setup only. This is not every time we will do the changes. This is only a one time setup only. So these pipelines is actually going to trigger my SageMaker. Okay. So SageMaker in the sense here it is just going to create the what the servers. So it is going to take the image CPU image or whatever it is from the account ECR only. It's a SageMaker dynamic or automatic available images only to set up the environment. It will pull those images and it will give it for you to run your process or train or deploying your model into it. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm just downloading one data. Okay, I'm just downloading one data which is wine quality test data directly into my S3, directly into my S3. And from S3, my pipeline will load it. My pipeline will load the data to pipeline. It will load the data into the pipeline. So this one will going to put into my training process. So when it is going to happen this training process, I would be having MLflow to track the let me take like this. So here is my MLflow. So this is my MLflow. So this is my MLflow. So this MLflow URI, we will going to take the URI. Okay, so I'll just keep it here. So while the training process is going on, okay, So it will log the experiment. It will log the experiment into my MLflow, because this MLflow you can deploy anywhere. You can deploy in the Kubernetes, you can deploy in the single VM also. There are two cases I have seen, and most of the companies all follow the same kind of thing, because a single MLflow can run on single server, or MLflow can run on Kubernetes as well. It's up to you. If you're finding hard with a single server, you can deploy on the Kubernetes. If you're finding very easy with integrating with the S3 and integrating with the this one, so it will be very easy uh, to have this on the single EC2 instance server, which is T3 medium, or you can also go for T4. So this is how, just a minute, just a minute. I'm getting one call. Cool. Yeah. So that you can run in the EC2 instance as well. So similar way, you can also run your fast API and UA as well here. So in your ML flow, you need to generate one URI, and that URI you need to give it in the script. So when you give it in the script, it will log your experiment here, and all these outputs are going to store in the same S3 again. It's going to store in the same outputs, artifacts, everything is going to store in again into the S3. It's a very minimum. See, if you see all these things, you are just only utilizing the SageMaker for just for a training purpose, just for a deploy purpose only. Okay, a process purpose. Those things only you do it through the SageMaker. So is it good or bad? It's up to the optionals. But for me, if you ask me, say I can go with an open source, because I can do a better job with this with a more than the SageMaker outside to set up many things. So here you will get lot of errors actually. When you are setting up, you will get lot of errors. You need to set up properly. And if you run multiple times over the behind the SageMaker side, it consumes many things. The image is a not proper, environment is not proper, so something it will throw you an error. So because of that practice only, it will going to charge how much of the bill on your account, and you cannot keep like that, allow like that only for the multiple users. So that is the only concern we can set up, because the environment setup is very easy with open source. And however, we wanted to see the SageMaker, so we have to learn from the SageMaker how to set up in the real world kind of things. So this is a basic setup right now. So when I have my UI, if I predict something, so it will be go and take the model from the endpoint only. So whatever the latest endpoint which is deployed here, which is deployed here, so that will load into the my fast API. That will load into my fast API. This is the thing. There are two cases. You can load your package which you are pushing into the S3 into the fast API, or you can load the direct endpoint into your fast API to do predict like API gateway last time we have tried. Okay. Similarly, here we are replacing with the fast API. Fast API is best for our open source things. So you can deploy this endpoint into this after your evaluation done. Okay. But in real world case, where the evaluation is going to done in MLflow only, sir. So not in the SageMaker. So everything is going to done in the MLflow only. We will be registered and then we'll push, and then only we will promote to the production side. So most of the cases, when you have a laptop, when you have a laptop, all your ML engineers will run manual commands, sir. Manual commands only. If it is not the production, everything will run from the manual only from your solution. You clone the solution like code, right? You do the changes and then you will run MLflow or flight, okay, or prefit commands, and you will say development environment is equal to dev, you will say like npm developers do, right? Like Node.js developers we do in the local, right? Similar way we trigger the pipelines, we trigger the runs in MLflow, we trigger the runs in MLflow from local only, sir. Most of the cases this is the case. So now it is evolving more, and now the pipeline concepts are introducing into the MLOps side, because now we are going to be replacing over there. And now it is a task to automate these things. But when you are automating things, there are multiple constraints, parameters that you need to change. So this, whatever the code you are cloning into your local, the solution, so that will be having all predefined scripts, sir. Everything predefined scripts that will connect your ML flows or connect your prefix or connect your SageMaker. Even though SageMaker also you will trigger it from the local only, sir, most of the cases. The production things only, the pipeline will be set perfectly to deploy. Previously, if you ask me 2 years, 3 years back, everything is manually deploying only. There is no much proper automation to deploy. So they would be doing a model packaging properly, and then they're releasing the model manually into the server side. And then the server they will do test with the inference script. There will be inference scripts separately. With the inference script, they load into that and they will test that, and then they will deploy that. But now inference script also we need to pass in the part of deployment process, so that it will check whether the health check is proper or not, inference can be rendered or properly or not, then it will deploy properly into our environment. So here we have a CloudWatch. So CloudWatch again for our monitoring purpose. Everything endpoint training, everything that you will monitor from the CloudWatch only. Okay. So this is the case right now. Okay. Now, so if I go to my GitHub, and here I have created this repository. Now you can see MLOps lab around a very clean and neat. Around 4 or 5 hours it took me to develop this as exactly to match the same like the uh, real-time environment. Okay. So if you see here, I'll just tell we have a scripts, okay, and workflows. You can also do dot here, so automatically it will open a VS Code for us. And yeah, let me open like this. So here we have scripts and workflows. If I come here, see in your interview also, hey, how do you create your pipelines, SageMaker pipeline? There are questions are there actually. So first we will create this script very easily, sir. Okay. So this script, everywhere you go, it's a kind of a common script where just a minimal things are needed, and in your real time also one one time setup will be done. Every time you not change the scripts, right? Sometimes there are some only changes will come, like they wanted to migrate split data set things. Okay, you need to change the function, or you need to change some string over there, you need to change some method over there because you are migrating to the ray. Then you have to set up the data loading into the ray pipeline side. So these kind of a small changes will come. For that you will create a ticket and you will do the work. So you will never change entire the script every time. So this will be a sometimes common because these scripts are do creating a pipeline. So create pipeline. So this pipeline will create, and it will load the data, and it will trigger a train into my SageMaker side. Okay. So what this pipeline will be doing? So this particular script will create a pipeline. Okay. Pipeline name is Wine MLflow Pipeline. It's called Wine MLflow Pipeline. Okay. So what this will be doing? So this will load the data from the S3 bucket, sir. So we know that these are the essential things that we need to set up, and these are all the some variables, environment variables that need to set up. So region, SageMaker role ARN, S3 bucket, and MLflow URI. We use it to keep the URI like this. And so are you? Yes, we will be doing in the GitHub secret only. And then this pipeline name will be the, you can directly pass it here. So similar way in the last, we are setting that SageMaker session. So this SageMaker session from the region, it will invoke, and then it will take the data from the bucket, sir. So this is a bucket I have to define. This is a bucket I have to define. It is anything, any name actually. Okay. And then here is your sklearn you're taking to train my model. Okay. So train with mlflow.py, where here it is, train with mlflow.py. This is a file it will load when it is get into the sklearn training. So what hyperparameters I'm giving here? So just roll number, sorry, role ARN, which it has to use, and source underscore dir scripts, because when this sklearn image pulled by the SageMaker, it basically looks scripts under this directory, sir. That's why this is we given. If you go to AWS documentation also, we can able to see this. This is all we took it from the documentation only. Okay. So source underscore dir scripts. Under the scripts, I have this. You can see. Okay. So which entry point it has to execute? Train with mlflow.py. mlflow.py. And which instance I need to take? Instance is ml.m5 log. So which is best and okay, moderate. How much instance count that you wanted to take it? One. If it is more, your training process is more, it is going to take, your data is more, and then you have to increase the count, sir. And which framework that you're using? sklearn, okay, 1.21, okay, whatever. And Python 3. Session, yes, I locked with the region. An environment where MLflow URI, it has to log. And all the outputs of this will be going to upload into my S3 bucket, sir. Okay, S3 bucket. So whenever it's getting into the training process step, okay, so all the data would be going to upload into my S3 bucket. Okay, so this is what the pipeline things. And if I go with train with ARN, means Amazon resource naming. Okay, so when we are going to create any resource, Amazon will follow one unique number to every resource. One unique number to every resource. So Amazon can identify that resource very easily. So it's a unique resource. That's why Amazon will give that ID and we can use wherever we wanted to identification. And again in the train with MLflow. Okay. So in this train with MLflow, again I'm importing the things, right? And I have these things like which train dir and model dir. What is this? These paths are actually running the code inside my SageMaker container. This is not on the GitHub runner, sir. This is inside the SageMaker container because SageMaker itself pull the container as we seen in the last class also. Okay. And so what happens? What is this SM channel train and SM model dir? So that means SM channel train where it will pull my CSV data which we are pulling from the S3, sir. Okay, which is going to mount over there. And this model dir is where our model will going to save. The SageMaker will save the model in this path and then it will push to the S3 side. So first local process would be done, right? So the local process would be going to done inside the container and then it will push this to the S3. Okay. And MLflow URI, we know that if once you give the MLflow URI, it is going to log over there. Okay. And so this is the again the path strings only where it will just try if the CSV file not there and it will throw you an error these things. Okay. And so in the MLflow what happens when your server is not reachable, example, when your server is not reachable, it will uh, it will try until it is succeed. So that's the main case of this exception function, so which we are writing into it in a graceful manner. Okay. And now coming to this x and y. So this is where our target value. So what is this x and what is this y? X is nothing but all the columns except the features. Y is nothing but the last target column where we are doing prediction on it, sir. So when we are going to download, I'll show. So we will be going to download the data, wine quality from the online. So we can see that. So this is what I'm giving as X and Y. X are columns and Y is the target everywhere. When you draw the graph like this, X and Y lines, so Y is always your target and X is your inputs or your features like this. And these parameters, these params are main thing. So why I'm taking this regression? So it's not a classification, it's a regression. So that's it. So I'm taking this depth for it's actually calculate the overfit underfit, sir. Okay. So the tree depth of your model or sir algorithm. Okay. And the learning rate would be 0.1. 0.1 means like the size as per your boosting the your model performance. So that is what the step size you're boosting for the round. So you can do 2, 3 like that, but 0.1 is the good one according to our use case. These estimators, if I go to the SQL and documentation where you can see, so here, sir. So we will be deciding with this actually. So here you can see, and you can rate this. What is this estimator and why? So why this parameter is needed? So estimator may be optimized this manner specifically when you have a current files for all the parameters given in estimator rule. Why we are giving number of trees? We give n estimators for the number of trees, sir. Okay, for that we give this estimators. So if I go to the subsamples as well, because 80% of the data, uh, I guess per tree we need it. Okay, and 80% of the features per tree we wanted to use it. So that's why we are giving this parameters. This parameters is every time going to change. Okay, if your model is not performing properly, this is the second type of job that you have to come, change this and redeploy, see the metrics. Again, come, change this, see this. Accordingly, your expected output is coming or not. So the performance is okay or not. We have to change it. Okay. So this is a one more case where our jobs would be involving into the this kind of work. We have to come, and this is again a special thing. I can give you a special class again on the hyperparameters, like the parameters changes and all.
Uh,
Yes,
yeah.
Satish.
So Rajini, that hyperparameter tuning that should be done by the MLOps developer, right? Not for the AL MLOps guys, right? See, this is kind of to improve the accuracy of that model, right? This should be
Exactly.
done by yeah.
See, it is depends on, okay, if there is no ML engineer is there and you're senior and you got good understanding over the project and the data, whatever you have. So you are also eligible to do this. It is not like only ML developer or ML engineer only has to do. So if there is a case you got the chance, then you have to change this and do retries. Okay, iterate it multiple times, deploy it and see it. So you get good grip on it. When you are setting up your baseline model and you wanted to perform against some other model actually, so you have to change and see it. It's not every time ML engineer job only. I'm telling it's not every time sometimes your job also. So we need to have some good understanding on these things. Okay,
Okay.
again these things are going to log where, sir? In MLflow URI only, sir. In MLflow URI only it is going to log. So
Yeah.
again,
And one more question, sorry.
mm,
So where do we maintain these values? Like in any kind of a table or the environment variable, or where do you change it?
so
Actually, let's say if you
here
wanted to
only,
change it from.
sorry, here only we will do this. In case, in case in your project, this values you don't want to do in this train with ml.py. So every time we can't do commit here. Example, I'm
Correct.
telling from your local you are passing these values separately in the command line. So pipeline can trigger. But in the production level, you don't have an opportunity to trigger from the local side. And the environment is completely automated. In that case, how you will? So this is these workflows, which is GitHub workflows are there, right? These workflows are going to parameterized. Parameterized means when you are running any workflow, it will ask a manual inputs. Like let's say I have these many parameters here. So objective, max depth, learning rate, and n estimators, samples like this. There also it will give you all the inputs while you're triggering the pipeline in UI. You have to pass whatever the values you wanted to put over so that those values will overwrite here and it will execute.
Mhm. Okay. So let's say if I start with the learning rate equal to zero point 0.3,
Hmm,
right? Then I get that 90 percentage accuracy. Then I
hmm,
change it to zero point 0.2
hmm,
and 93 percentage. Then I
hmm,
change it to zero point 0.1,
hmm,
95 percentage. So
hmm,
I'm good, right? So means like I changed three parameters value, right? Where
hmm.
that three parameters value get captured.
Okay, so
So
all
let's
are
say in future
going
if I
to in ML only, in ML flow only, in S3. So all you are going to store here the outputs. So nothing but the metric outputs only, right? So those all outputs will be going to save here in this Amazon S3 from your ML flow.
Rajni, can I
mm-mm.
add something?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yeah. So in that case, like we can use Palm Grid. Okay. So Palm Grid is a grid Palm is a library
Hmm.
where we can pass these values in a list. Okay. In a list, we can at the same time we can pass many values. Okay.
Okay, but
And
that,
for
yeah, yeah, go
each
on.
and we can ML flow will capture means for each value the model will be trained and ML flow capture all the experiment.
Yeah, but
Means
that,
grid. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but that is programmatically, right?
Yes, programmatically, and in grid palm is a library like
Hmm.
scikit-learn. We can use grid palm or palm grid, and there we can pass all the values at the same time. Yeah.
So at the same time, like Satish was asking a question like, so if you are working from the laptop, so you can use that, and when you are passing the command, so you can give like that. So grid param will take that. However, so grid of the parameters, so it can take and it will invoke and input into that. Your run
Yes.
will be logged here. Everything will be log over there.
Okay. Yes.
That's okay. But when you use git pam from the pipeline side, so pipeline is triggered. Now how you will provide the inputs? Okay, we can give multiple inputs over there, like multiple parameters values I wanted to give to log in the ML flow. So that's what he's asking. To log them, we can use parameter kind of a job where it asks the inputs. So they override the values, whatever the exact values are there. So in your case, sir, when you are running from the local, you will create your local feature branch and you will trigger it from the local branch only, right? So your local branch only, you will trigger it. You did the changes in your branch file and you are running this command. But I wanted to use the changes which are in the main branch. Main branch thing I wanted to deploy in the just in ML flow run. I'm not deploying, I just wanted to see the run with the main branch things only. So I just wanted to override the values. So with the pipeline automation, so there is no option. We have to come like that. So as I said, most of the cases, so this is the work which we would be running. Like Sir said, yes, we will use whatever you're comfortable with the grid param. Yes, it is
Yeah.
logged. Then you
Grid
can,
search CV. Yeah.
yes, right. So you can log them and then you can run them. So yes, if you still want the UI, the comparisons between the two runs and all, you use similar kind of same library like prefit. You can load them, run your runs. Run can also log at your ML flow, and the same run can log it again at prefit also. Okay. So right now I have this. So after this, what happens? So inside my ML flow run, all the hyperparameters tracking, this is the code. All the hyperparameters trackings are going to log and it will train and it will evaluate the test. So best result I'm looking for RMSC and R score for this. So what happens after this? So it is going to save my package in model.joblib extension, sir. So SageMaker is going to log the model. Yeah, yeah. So MLflow is going to log the model with this model.joblib, and then MLflow will also going to log the log with MLflow.log model. This is the code if fails, and then if I go to deploy latest model.py. So what happens in this deploy? So up to these three files, sir, these three files I can say CI as a kind of continuous integration to model training. Okay, that job is done. Now we are going to deploy side. So deploy side, this is going to use our Boto 3 to deploy into our SageMaker. Again, we use this environment variables and we log the sessions with Boto 3, and then it is going to find the latest model deployed, the latest, the training job which has ran, and that model package it is going to load, sir. So it is going to load. It will going to check the create time. So descending order, the max 20 most recent jobs it will check first. And then it will find the latest job which is completed successfully from the training jobs, which we seen in the SageMaker in the last class. Okay. And then if anything is there, then it will replace. If already loaded, then it will repackage the model with the inference code, sir. So this is a code. This is a code. So model artifact split, and it is going to load into a temporary directory inside your SageMaker SDK container. So which is nothing but model tar.gz. It will repackaging it. Okay, according to the SageMaker site. And then it is going to download. And if it is a old code and old directories are there, it will remove. So this inference.py, sir, we actually pass separate file actually, but I have kept this inside the script. This inference.py we actually pass separately. Why we need this actually? Why we need this? We need whenever your model is downloaded and extracted and deployed. So SageMaker will expect something from the code, sir. So there is nothing but called code slash, sir, like this code slash. So from this code slash directory, it will expect the inference functions. This sklearn container is the functionality is like that. Actually, the container functionality is like that. So under this code directory, it will expect some functions where it will look for this inference things, to load the model, to parse the incoming request, run the predictions, and format the responses. These kind of things. So for that, we return these things. Feature names are like wine, alcohol, malic acid, as, like this. Okay, and then it is kind of an initial inference kind of test, you can say. Now we are passing CSV in a string in a kind of numpy things are here. Okay, so where yeah, so where it will be going to take them, and it will run some predictions on it. Okay, it will run some predictions on it. So with this, it will understand whether it is able to do a predictions or not. If this is failing, then your deployment is going to fail, sir. So where I can see this, you have to see in the CloudWatch only. So this inference.py, it always will change according to your data that you are training. So this is concentrately, you have to create the script, what to be passed, what expected things that you need to give. Okay, so that the model will do inside when it is deploying, and then it will run some format responses, sir, with output. Once you can, your wish, you can configure the format responses or not. If you do that in your logging, it will be very easy. So because you might be connecting your Apply Connect or many other monitoring tools like Prometheus or Grafana, when you are connecting the CloudWatch to the Grafana side, you can go and see it over there easily, or itself in the CloudWatch also. You can see these logs of why it is failing also. So all those logs can be logged over there, and it is easy purpose. So we can run this inference. Without inference, sir, your model will not deploy, sir. It will fail, sir. So inference has to be present. It's must and mandatory. Okay. So for the XGBoost, when I'm deploying, I would be using this XGBoost to deploy, and I given requirement.txt where it can take XGBoost and some versions are 2.0.3. So I actually passed requirement.txt uh, but this is only taking for the training, but deploying it is not taking. So I have to pass here, sir. Okay. Then it will upload my package after deploy into the S3. Okay. And then it will deploy my endpoint, sir. So this is a code where it is going to deploy. Okay. So once it will finish, it will wait for some time. Once it will finish, it will see for the existing endpoint configuration configs and models. It will delete them and it will create a new endpoint, sir. It will create new endpoint where you can see image URI. This URI we are not giving anything. It will SageMaker automatically takes. This code again, a common code, get it from the SageMaker document only. Okay, as per the container. And model data URL. So new model URI we can give. Environment again inference.py, which I'm passing above. SageMaker submit direction dictionary. Sorry. So this is the path of that. And how much log you wanted to do? Yes, I want to do log to 20. And which region? Region is the AP South 1 or something like that. Then it will execute it will use an execution role of the IAM role of the SageMaker. Then it will create an endpoint. So this endpoint, your letters are not properly seen. Which letters do I need to increase? Okay. After getting deployment using inference file, with the inference file getting used for new upcoming request, or this just for the deployment purpose? After the inference file will get load. No, 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 no. For the new upcoming request, it will be not used. It is just to check. So similar way, yes, similar way kind of a template where your inference can understand. So whatever the new inference request that you are passing, the same kind of pseudo kind of guidelines that you are passing through the inference.py. So it is for the new request also, and as well as when you're deploying, it has to understand this is the inference and this is the prediction on this values the model has to predict. So that is the goal of that inferences. Inference means the incoming request to a model to do analyze and predict it. Okay.
Right. Rajni, sorry, I don't want to stop your
Hmm.
the flow, but give us some time to ask some questions when you changing the
Sure,
one,
sure.
one session to another session. So I have a couple of questions.
Mhm.
So in your last lab, right? So you said like, no, we need to create a two compute, right? One for the inference and another one for the deployment. Here, also in the last lab, we mentioned that the micro, basically the configuration, right? How much
Yes.
memory, the system and all, right? Here, not we are not mentioning anything in this Python code,
Now you can
Rajni.
see
But
here
okay, oh,
instance type for the deploying. For training we have
okay.
done. This is for deploying the endpoint. ml.mfile larg.
Uh, how about the inference? We need inference for
No, no,
compute for the inference as well, right?
no, no, no. See, here only it will going to do. So while it is going to deploy, this is running in the SageMaker container only. In the container only it will load. So after that it will package and then it will create an endpoint for that package.
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes we might be having some confusion with any repositories to understand. So actually you can go git digest something. I guess git diagram. You just come here and copy this code. In order to understand, whenever you like You get plenty of uh, repositories. So it will explain the structure of my thing, so how it is exactly passing with each code, and it will also, I think, is give you the diagram from where to where, how it is connects, what it is using. In your companies, you cannot use this, but any open source, there's plenty of other repositories also available. If you go here, I have a same similar production, almost production kind of a pipeline here. So this pipeline, okay, end-to-end pipeline. So you have to spend at least 4.5 hours to understand this whole entire repository, because it took me 2 days to develop this repository. Okay. So you have to, with that we cannot able to catch what exactly inside this. So in that kind of scene, that kind of situation, you can use this to understand. Like if you have, are we doing any compute to the deployment side, using compute for the train side, so how it is, connectivities are there. With code we cannot understand sometimes, so we want render and give the output like a graph. Can use this. Wait a minute. See here. So exactly this is how the repository is uh, flowing right now. So git pull request dispatch something, then the git repository, it will do a train, which is manually we trigger it. Okay, and this is also we manually trigger it. Then the train will run. So the training into control plane with run with deploy.py. Then it will go and trigger this train with MLflow.py and create pipeline.py. So here it is going to use a SageMaker model particularly. So SageMaker pipeline is going to create, it will call the container, and it will log all the metrics and params. When it is running the container, the SageMaker training job will be triggered from this pipeline. So when it is triggered, what it will do, it will write the model artifacts, it will log the metrics. So it will model.tar.gz will upload into S3, and all logs things are going to MLflow tracking. Okay, so here, so once it is done, your model packaging will be going to run when model is going to register, sir. So here it will pull that tar, and then it is used to load your inference again. This action is going to done via your deployment control plane, which is nothing but your deployment workflow, sir. This is we have to trigger again after that. Okay. So once it is run, then it will serve and deploy it, sir. Okay. So when it is going to do that, so you have to call into your fast API. So this is a separate server again. Okay. This is exact a flow of my repository, the scripts, how it exactly connects to each end. If I come here, this is going to deploy the endpoint. So for that, I have to log into the AWS first. Let me log into the AWS. Uh, I guess what is my account ID? Double 593. User. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So here I'm in the Asia Pacific, Mumbai. So we can create here actually. And first of all, we need to create one S3 bucket, sir. One IAM user also. If I go to IAM users, if you are using pay as you go, please create your one IAM user like MLflow user and go here and go to security credentials and create your access key, sir. Okay, access key and the secret key. So when it creates, it should look like this, sir. Okay, it should look like this. So these are the keys that you can use. So okay, just it is kind of a save. So you can we can have the new node, not AWS SageMaker lab. Okay, cool. Now let's go to S3. So whenever you create, not able to hear. Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
audible.
Okay, okay. So first of all, when you create a user, just provide administrator permissions so that for you it will be very easy to track, okay, and to deploy anything. For your root account you will be doing, I won't recommend to do from the root account. Okay, you do also, not a problem, but create an MLOps user so that it will be very easy on your billing side to see. One more thing, first I have to create a ES3 bucket. Okay, come here. So to even create any S3 bucket, so I would prefer that we can use CLI for the easiest thing. Okay, so if I do everything manually, it has to click mouse options and all. So before that, let me go and open a terminal first, and then I run AWS configure. Okay, you have to provide access key and the secret key. In your real time also you have to provide this, but there will be a session key. Enter, enter. AP South 1 is my default region, and in JSON output I'm expecting it. So then after, see, I have already given the notes here um, for this exact thing, how you have to configure. Okay, and I will be going to use the same commands again. Probably in your Zoom it will not visible, I guess, but I can run the commands here. So what it will be doing? So instead of the US, I have to set AP South 1. So this is the problem. If you set like this, you are getting the errors. AP South 1. So it is going to set this region and it will call my account details, the account ID. Then it will create MLOps wine and then account ID with one S3 bucket. If I come here and come to the buckets, refresh, and okay. So now let me create the bucket. I guess here is the bucket. Create the bucket, the region this thing. Malfunction location incompatible with that. So bucket name AP South 1 only. This is my account ID. That's fine. Let me AP South 1, AP South iPhone 1. So let me create manually. Create the bucket. Bucket has created. Now if I go here, so I can download the CSV actually. Change the video settings to 1080 pixel. No, it is in Zoom only, right? So I think I have to do this. Is it okay? Which is going to download and upload into my S3 bucket. Okay, but before that, yeah, which is also created. Mhm. Let me download this manually. Let me download this manually. So .csv unable to check the evacuation certificate. When we can skip the SSL things by giving -k. No. Let me ask my Gemini. SSL no invoke. Okay. You can use the human method, but it is downloaded. If I go here and do the same to copy into my bucket, it's uploaded into my bucket right now, which is AWS S3 Wine CSV from the local to the bucket side. If I come and see in the bucket, it has to upload here under the data wine.csv. Okay.
Rajni, I have a question. Where
Yeah.
we define that environment variable dollar bucket name that you are directly using on command line?
No. Here export
Here we
region.
have region. We have to.
Yeah, here only I ran this. See, here the first thing is only this environment variable to set up. Then we can create and then we can download
Yeah.
and upload. It should be like this. And then we have to create this trust policies actually. So for that, what I can do, maybe I can go in some directory, cd downloads project maker, so that from one directory I can do. I guess I'm in the different directory, so I don't want to maintain. I wanted to maintain from one directory only. So if you see, I have already an IAM folder. Okay. So with this, you have to create an IAM folder. Inside that, run this as exact the same scripts which I have given. So these are all the IAM permissions and roles that we are giving. Okay. So if I go this file, if I go this file, I have the same thing. Okay. And then create this role to attach the JSON. So here we are creating the role. Role name is SageMaker One Execution Role, and we are assuming the policy from IAM trust SageMaker.json. This one. So which will be very easy to attach. Instead, we're doing it from the console side. Okay. So since it is, I guess the role is already exist. So, okay, I don't delete it. So the role is already exist. It is telling me that this role is already exist. And the second thing is we are attaching the policies of SageMaker full access and Amazon S3 full access. Okay. Again, this role also going to be there. If it is already there means this is also already there. Okay. I have attached. Now I need to get this ARN, sir. Okay. So this ARN, I have to save it. Which ARN? SageMaker Wine execution role ARN. This ARN I want. So this ARN is, this is a unique number, AWS IAM account ID role and ARN. Copy this ARN, keep it in your SageMaker role ARN. This is we are going to use in our pipelines. That's why we need it. Okay. Second thing is we need to create OIDC role. Okay. So if you run this command, you have, then it will be, otherwise you can run this one to create. This is a standard command. GitHub, for GitHub we can create this. Okay. To authenticate from our AWS cloud to the GitHub to run the pipelines. To run the pipelines, we have to create this OIDC. Okay. So if I come here, I have already list of OpenID. So which is already connected with token action GitHub user content.com. So this is GitHub only will provide from the GitHub documentation. Okay. So but in your real time that you're going to do OIDC, yes, you're going to do OIDC, OpenID connectivities. In order to authenticate, you will be creating a separate IAM role for it. With that role, you will authenticate with OIDC to your AWS cloud to the GitHub action. It is same with your Jenkins. It is same with your any other Circle CI. It is same with any tool that you're using, even though it is Airflow also. So we need this connectivity to do that, sir. And then create this policy for GitHub role where I have to provide my account ID. In your case, your account ID. In my case, my account ID here, and as well as the repository owner name and repository. So how it exactly look like? Only two things that we need to change. One is account ID. Another one is my repository names. My repository name. My repository name. That's it. So that from this repository, any workflows that you are running, that will go authenticate with uh, your AWS actually. Okay. And the second thing is, once you have, create a role for your GitHub thing, then attach it. Already exist. Attach the policies would be also going to exist. Then create this parser. So while you're creating this passing the role, we have to pass SageMaker role ARN. If you do these things manually, clumsy, it will create a lot of complexity. So it is very easy to pass. And in your case, how you will be doing, sir? Yeah, sir, you will do through the CloudFormation or you do with the Terraform. You will not do manually. You will not do by the console. You will do through the CloudFormation stack or you will do through the Terraform. In Terraform, we'll create some IAM policy JSON files. In that, you will add all this. From there, you will run the Terraform commands to provision. For our case, since we wanted to have a clarity, we are running manually with the CLI only. Okay. So if I pass this, I should have the SageMaker role ARN which I have saved here in my notebook. Okay. If I cat this, see, this is a role I have already. This is a role I have already. And then next, you need to attach this. So for me, it is already attached. if you not pass. And in our repository, just the minimum files I kept. I tried, I configured multiple scripts to keep it very less to understand, but I have to break down the files in order to create the pipeline in the SageMaker. Okay. After this, I have to make more notes on the same lab. Yesterday, I guess yesterday's festival, right? So I didn't get a time. And I have to break down again. I have to make every notes again. So let's go to trigger the pipeline. So before that, let me go to SageMaker. If I come to SageMaker, do I have anything here? Exactly. I don't need a domain. I don't need a I don't need a studio as well. All the thing I'll be looking for training jobs and deployable models, endpoints, endpoint configuration. That you can done. Your work is done. If you still want more things, yes, you can do batch transformation jobs. You can do shadow test. Everything that you can do it here only. Why you need a studio? It is just an optional for UI visualizers. Okay, with some additional features. In your real time, everyone will be going to create a studio. No, not like that. We create outside of the studio only most of the cases to run the pipeline. In your interview, they will ask like how you will create a pipeline. So create underscore pipeline, open braces, sir. So this is an answer interview also. They ask like how do you create a pipeline? Simple one line. You can say like that, and the same thing we are going to do it from our this repository, sir. If I come here to this repository, to this repository, to this repository, and I have workflows. So in this workflow, if I see train.yml, workflow dispatch means it will run manually. We have to trigger it manually. We have to give this permission, sir. Since we are using OIDC, this is a recommended process from the GitHub only. We must need to keep this if you are using OIDC. If you are not using, you will get an error. Jobs, train job, where Ubuntu latest. But in your case, this could be your AWS EC2 instance, sir. Okay. Or sometimes you also get it from the GitHub hosted only. But in the real time, these runners are mostly from your AWS Kubernetes executors. And then steps. So this is the reusable template that GitHub is only giving to us. Okay. So that means it is going to authenticate. Behind this scene, there is a lot of code, sir. Behind this single line, there is a lot of code. This is a version 4. AWS configure credential at the rate version 4, which is a tag. Okay. If I copy this, last time we discussed, now V6 is there. Okay. V6 is there. Now we are using V4. This is a original repository. This is a original repository where GitHub is maintaining. So this is we are taking as a reusable and we are using it to authenticate. So we don't need to write multiple lines of code. It is just enough over there. It's just enough over there. So we are passing what? Role ARN and region. So I have to come to the settings. Left side under secret variable actions. Here I have to provide these things. Okay. Which is AWS region AP South 1, AWS role ARN. Uh, role ARN is that we took the role ARN. Yeah. So this is the role ARN, GitHub role ARN. And let me. I guess that is not being used. Okay, fine. And then MLflow tracking URI. For this, we have to deploy the MLflow server in separate server and S3 bucket. What is our S3 bucket name? And SageMaker role ARNs. So this is what we have saved it here. So this one. So since my things were last 2 days or yesterday, I guess it is, I have changed it. So things are already saved here. The same URLs. Sorry, so the same variables. If I come here, it will use those things. And then it will install dependencies where, sir? In this runner, sir. In this runner. Okay. Then it will trigger the pipeline to run this. Okay. So what it will do, create pipeline.py, which I have a file, create pipeline.py. So by using this information, it will be going to use the data for training purpose. If I go to the actions, if I go to train with wine pipeline, here, if I click on run workflow, it has to run. It has to run. So which is setup job, authentication, and now it is installing the dependencies. Immediately, we can go to the CloudWatch also. We can go to the CloudWatch also. Here in the CloudWatch, go to log management. When the training job is triggered, a log will be logged here. Okay. So installation done, then run pipeline. This is our main step. Now it is running the SageMaker thing.
Yeah, hi Rajni. So if you're using the GitLab, I thought same configuration we have to set up, right? Mostly cloud side, IMA role creation and
Yes, exactly.
OIDC setup.
Same rule. But the script will be changes over there. So if I come to my training job is triggered. You can see training job is triggered. But this training job, you can see it here. Some information. Job name, it is in progress. This is the role it is using, and this is the ARN of this, and algorithm is not okay. Scalan, and here you're using the training image, which is nothing but the SageMaker is pulling on this environment. And where it is going to take the data from here, and outputs are going to push into the models. And these are all the HEPA parameters that we have seen right in the create.py. And if I go into the S3 bucket, if I refresh, come out, you can see train wine models source dir tar.zz. It also going to create models directory. Inside the model directory, it will upload. And in order to deploy MLflow, in order to deploy a MLflow, so we have to create a separate EC2 instance and then we have to deploy it, sir. So we can run it through the Kubernetes also, but Kubernetes will do in the uh, our open source things. So let me go to the EC2 instance also. Launch instance. Let's say MLflow server. Okay. Take Ubuntu. Take T2 medium, create this, use this launch wizard one, and just launch instance. So until the training job complete and this EC2 instance, okay, get ready. I think let's take some 5 minutes break, sir. I have to just attend one small Slack messages. Just let's take a 5 minutes of break. Yeah. So can you share GitHub repo URL? Sure. This here you go on the chat. Yeah. So where are we? Let's see. It is still in progress. Might it could fail because we have not passed person memory utilization, disk utilization, and CPU utilization. And model outputs are not yet published. From here we can take, oh my god, 800 seconds to take. Taking much time for training. If I go models, inside this profile output system incremental, I have all the outputs here. Fine. So meanwhile, let's connect to our server and deploy MLflow. So for that, let me go to the new CD downloads because my key pair in the downloads. Connect to it. Yes. Sudo su. Then sudo apt update. We need to do this, otherwise we get some errors. Apt upgrade. So meanwhile, let's write some commands here to install directly. So apt install, we need a Python 3 and Python 3 pip we need, and Python 3, I guess v also we need it. I guess it's a correct command only, if not then I have to again. Okay, so Python, it's a simple thing to run the ML run. So Python 3 MLflow and -env, guess not this one. So Python 3, we have to activate the venv first. And then we can write a source MLflow venv, and for Windows Ubuntu we have to activate it. Probably pip install MLflow boto 3. We need to run these commands. Okay, Let me run one by one. Installing. Once it is done, let me activate it. Activated. Let me run this command as well. So meanwhile, let's working. I have to run MLflow server. MLflow server, just say like this to enter into the next line, and then you have to say hyphen host. We want it on the 0.0.0.0, and again you need again one more argument like port, which is 5000. Again, what we need a backend actually, otherwise the latest MLflow is fail. Okay, so you need store URI, and then you need must and should a PG Postgres database or MySQL. So take it a simple thing where it is going to store the application like MLflow things into the uh, this SQL database only. So let me take the very light one. If this is not works, I guess MLflow dot db you can say, and then here we need to give our artifact root. So what we can say, default artifact root s3 colon slash slash. What is our s3 bucket name? S3 bucket name is this one. Okay, S3 bucket name is this one, slash slash slash. Okay, and here we have to say ML flow separately. So this is where it look for to log the experiment into your ML flow. If I copy this and run into my server, then it has to run the ML flow. See the command error somewhere. Let me ask the Gemini. SQ, okay, spell mistake I did. Sorry. It's running right now. See, if I go to my instance IP address and 5000. See, it is clearly telling that DNS rebinding attack detected. Uh, Regarding your ML flow, like ML flow is a UI, right? So all the outputs will be saved in the S3, but ML flow UI things, those configurational things, those things will be stored in the SQLDB. Even even we give this one, it is telling clear that I guess something changed. The latest ML flow is not supporting actually. Root artifact running. MLflow documentation. So MLflow can be also called as Hendrix. Install MLflow server. This is from programmatically. Export, then how to run. Okay. Control C. It will break and export it. Running. Come here. Forbidden API things. I guess let's do one thing. This is a command, right? We are passing 0.0.0.0. So instead, I can keep IP address. Invalid detector. Traffic config in the security group. There already. See, inbound rules.
And
Inbound
defined.
rules. Yes. So edit, add
Sorry.
all traffic anywhere, save the rule, which is already
Already.
allowed.
Can you add the 5,000 port number?
Already there. See, everything is there means we don't need, right? All traffic is there. All traffic is there. That's not a problem. Okay. So for your wish, all TCP or custom anyway. So all ports will come in. And if I do, no, it's not about the port actually. bypassing the one by one. No, however it is running. So it's a problem MLflow is blocking. I guess this should be false, might be.
Access didn't run that. It's a forbidden.
Set them automatically schema. No. Forbidden. The previously
Which
was.
role you're using for this?
Mhm.
Which role you're using for this to connect the ML?
See, we are just installing the ML. We are not anywhere not connecting. So to connect to S3 again we need an IAM role, but once it has to install, right? It's a problem to access the endpoint like 00000. It is not able to open. So I guess SQLite will not have, then we can use PG I guess then. See localhost, the IP address and this one specific IPs on the localhost. Your browser need to hidden file called host. Send version MLflow using FastAPI. Starlet implement the hosting filter by default. If the incoming host header isn't allowed list, the return 403. Prevent DNS depending attacks. Still getting 403 connection.
S3 access denied something access.
S3 is okay. It's not about the S3. So
Mm.
ensure IAM role. Okay. Then bucket policy I can come here. I can go to EC2 instances. So actions, security, modify IAM role, MLflow EC2 instance which we have created from our first commands and then provide it. Okay. Let me run right now if that is the case. No, something is missing. Yesterday, how to install, pip install, MLflow, but we need a DB, otherwise it throw an error to us. Can you see? Can you make the request validation enabled false? Let me run that export command as a false only. MLflow HTTP request validation enabled. Reject user request invalid host. Fast API security. There is something. Yesterday I have seen, I guess, when fast API security. Basic auth. Say artifact and port number, this one. There's a problem. Any port is running, nothing. Then I should all connections host allowed host call CRS allowed. Test load. Let me take the IP address again. Paste colon 5000. Maybe MLflow version issue. MLflow version. Yeah. So this is the latest version, I guess. This version would be having a problem. Let me Where SageMaker, yes, it is completed now. Fine, but we have to fix the ML flow. Mm, if I run this also, Pradeep, could you pass the command of IAM roles and configurations? Yes, it is in our here. Let me pass that. Pradeep, MLflow host, MLflow user, host. We're running the same. I guess let me install and do something. Pip install MLflow some version. This not the
Can we use the wildcard? Is it best
same
way?
command. Same command. ML4 versions. Old versions. MLflow. Something around 2 something is there. Not the latest version. 2 something around we can use. MLflow 220, 220, 2024. 15, 17. We can use this one or this one. This one would be best. Okay. Then I can 2.19.0, right? Context scale will assume non-technical DLL initializing some such as brand and following. Let me take a script for from the GitHub only. Let if I install this. Wait. What it is telling? It's telling like escape pack package. Okay, maybe I can do one thing. DB. Now let me run the command. Now it is running. List load. Yes, it got loaded now. I guess I have to save this command. Version would be 2.19.0 that you can use. So this is the one. If not, use this one. Okay, we need to remove SQL, and then now my ML flow is running. I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. Yeah. If you see, we have a default here and nothing was logged. Why nothing was logged? Because we are not given the URI. We're not given the URI. Where we're not given URI? In this, sir. In the settings, we need to come, and here we need to go to actions. In the MLflow URI, I need to give this URI, sir, and update the secret. And then I have to pass my 16. Yeah. After updating this, I have to again come, run one more training job, sir. So train with ML pipeline. If you run this, it will again going to deploy one more. So it again going to create one more training job. One more training job. Where the training job? Yes. Okay. So within this, it will create one more. Here you have all the information. This is so once it will pull this instance for your training, and AWS will automatically remove that, wipe out from their data centers. Okay. We only get build of what it is running. And if you go to building, I don't know how much my account costs for this month. Okay, so right now I have this much only. Cool. It will trigger one more, and that will into the process. If I come here, you see it is installing the dependencies, and now it is running. Okay, it is running the pipeline. Here it will be okay, but in the real time what happens, there is a health check they will keep. So until from the AWS the training pipeline say the status complete, until that this pipeline will never end. It will in a running mode only. But for us now it is just telling okay, I'm successful. But here if you come, here if you come, here it is triggered one more training job for you. Let it finish. If I open, same things only, right? Yes, same things only. If you refresh, you have to see, what? You have to see your log. One run has to done, because one run only, right? You have to see one run. to wait until this complete. For 2-3 minutes, I guess. I completed. Sorry. So now it is completed. If I come here, I should. You can see wine quality training, and I have one log here. Okay. And here is the overview that you can see created by the root and your parameters that what we have defined. So this is where we see, sir. So these are all going to log it here. Which logged model? Which is XGBoost. With what source? Train with ml.py. And duration is 3.2 seconds. And these are all the our metrics that the value have here. Okay. Then you will going to register this model, sir. In the real time, what happened? Here we're going to register the model. And model metrics, you can see it here. And system metrics, you can see it here. Artifacts. So this artifacts would be loading, you can see, directly into your S3. Okay. ML model. Okay. ML model where this is a path. Okay. And conda.yml, which is dependencies. Model.xgb, where it is going to in your S3, sir. Environment, requirements, and your information. So if I come to S3, come here in the models, MLflow, run one. Inside this run one folder, I have artifacts. Inside the model, I have see sir, ML model. Okay, you can see sir. Here you can download it. So if you wanted to directly load into the fast API, you can load it. But for our lab, what we are doing, we are invoking directly from the endpoint since we wanted to use the SageMaker, right? So we are deploying in the SageMaker. We are not promoting from the MLflow. MLflow I'm using as a just UI purpose to see this logging, experiment logging. That's it. Okay. So if I come here, where this one. Okay, my experiment logged, right? Now I wanted to go back to deploy model. So with the deploy model, I would like to trigger this one. So it's going to use deploy latest file, and this will going to run the deploy steps. So it is authenticating and deploy endpoint. So when it is going to deploy endpoint in the left side, if we see endpoint configuration, it should create one. Deployable models, you should see one model, and endpoint, you will see one endpoint here. Let's come and see it here. you come refresh, so it is creating one endpoint, configuration, okay, deployable models, endpoint, it has to complete. It will take at least 2 or 3 minutes, but while it is going, you can see 21, this one, the time, the 21:54. If I come to the log, refresh, training job only logged, not the deployment one. Let's the deployment log also created. As it is created, if you see here, down, open, and this is how it is running right now. It is setting up the environment, and see now GPUs are installed, and it is running, including this one, SageMaker container modules, editing the manifest, pip install requirement.txt. Okay, things are installing. Inference XGBoost. Okay, and then it's now trying to do the ping. It has to get 200. Yes, 200 is getting. That means the endpoint would be successful here. You can see create in service. So create in service right now. We can use this endpoint to do the predictions actually. So I guess I have some file. Let me open the file. I kept it. Yeah, I got it. So this is a command I would like to run for this. Let me go to the new window, and here I just wanted to run this one. Not, it's not coming. This one, which is print and providing some int numbers of wine, alcohol, mid, and all to just check this. As input CSV we are passing AWS SageMaker runtime invoke endpoint. Endpoint name is wine quality endpoint. And the file, this is a file we are putting as input values to do inference, and the region, and I want in output.txt. So now I'm getting the values here, you can see. Okay, so it's not real values, like just for an example. Now I'm getting the values here, which is primary, and I'm getting some predictions here. So I would like to use this. I would like to use this into the fast API. Okay, and load into the UI. Okay, so that this endpoint can we do when you pass any inputs from the UI side, then fast API can take that invocations into this endpoint, and then it will send a response format to the API, and API will write back into your UI code. Okay, so this is the thing. So if I go to my repository here itself, I have also created a ML-API. Here you can see. So what I can do this, I can just clone this repository into my EC2 instance. Where is my EC2 instance, sir? So let me also log into the EC2 instance from the one more session from here, because in one session that is running. Connect, come here, paste, cd downloads. In downloads it is there. Yes. Now sudo su, we just mkdir fast API, cd fast API, git clone. Now clone this, sir. Clone this. And cd, which is MLOps lab, and cd ML API. So here you have the files app.py and these things. I have already coded in app.py. I guess I have to change it here, then I will pull that simply. I have to change the endpoint. So this is a fast API. SageMaker endpoint is same there already. And since my EC2 instance is already authenticated with IAM, so it is also able to pull this SageMaker endpoint. And here you are writing these things, okay, to just predict and the payload that you are passing. Okay, the payload that you are passing. And in my template, I have index.html. I have index.html. If I run this Python 3.py, so it is going to run, and I should able to see this in the UI, where I have to pass some of the inputs from the UI, so that fast API will take that and will give the result to us. Okay, so let me go, and since it is already there, Python app.py. Model is not installed. UVCon Boto 3, I guess. No, this is not something. Control C. the commands as per Ubuntu EC2 server. I have installed this. Again, I have to enter into this FastAPI. It's taking the same MLflow. Simple. Let me get into that. There to template must be, this code is not proper. It must be installed in the templates. And there to templates are already there. So I can do one thing. Pip install Jinja. Mhm. Thing written. UVCon, let's try. UVCon app colon app colon app colon, okay, app colon app host 8000. Host also port array. Port command is wrong. Now you're getting on this. Come here to your instance, IP address and 8000. 8,000. You got it here. Let's say 1, 2, 45, 56, 2, some random values. Okay, total sulfur dioxide, random numbers, pH value 3, and alcohol is 1, and predict it. No, it is not writing back. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Errors. Raised class endpoint user steers this account, and MLflow EC2 role is not authorized to perform invoke on resource SageMaker. Okay, the policy identity because endpoint policies allows the SageMaker invoke endpoint action. Let me find out from the role IAM EC2 role what permissions I have. I have only S3 full permission. Attach policies SageMaker full policy, add permissions, right? Now let's do it. Post predict 500 internal. The last it's telling that okay, so Cloudwa get favicon not found. Calling invoke reversed by primary key. 500 error title. 500 more information. CloudWatch log viewer. Okay, let me go to the CloudWatch and come back. Refresh. Open this. Last 1 minute back. When you see post things. When you see post things, post location. Error inference on invocations. It's telling that must have the length of number of data columns. Whatever the values I kept, 1, 14, 23, 1.71, no, no, from the UA, it's not the correct. So it's something giving an error, I guess. The right values are not going. 1, 2, 1. Let me keep 1, 1, 1 only. either the service overloaded or there is an error in app location.
Getting formatted error, right?
Hmm. Internal
Server error.
server error. So it is from there it is
Yeah.
not responding to us. That's the problem.
Server is
Invocation.
not reachable.
Hmm. I guess inside, I don't know, in code what we are passing. We are passing LDT violations and this. I guess the problem with this, the payload format. If I if I open with code space, let me ask Copilot. Attributes allowed input and say I said right. This is a problem here. No. If prediction response, prediction value and score, and then if else prediction result, plot. Okay. JSON response from the SageMaker. Number step. Here it is add fixed required. Okay. Let me try without wasting a time.
Actually, on the output, right, on the front end, just you enter one or two values, right?
Hmm.
It's not mandatory, right, for all these fields. Just
No, no,
put
not
something one
mandatory.
and then
It will take empty
just
also
submit.
few things.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, just enter only one value and submit it. Let's
No,
see if it is going through.
the problem, I guess it's
Okay,
the type
internal
type is the
connection.
problem. Yeah.
Mm,
So what I
mm.
do, I'll just stop this and I'll do git pull. Got it. Then I'll run. Now, if I come and refresh anything, it's writing error, yeah. Copilot. If I
This is
refresh,
something that API connection issue, right?
yeah,
Internal
It's
server
API
error.
API server issue,
Ah,
like
yeah.
whatever it's calling, right? That server is not reachable or stopped,
See,
something
no,
like
no,
that.
no. The thing is, you're getting 200, okay. So the post which is predicting its unprocessable entity is because of this server. I because I took t2.medium, it is not okay, or something
mm,
because it's not able to process here inside. And it's not the case
Mm.
because already this is running. UI is okay. Let me go and check in CloudWatch. If I come here, see the log from last 1 minute, 200 okay. From last 30 minutes, all pings are okay. So, okay, Uday, like if I come here to this EC2 instance and check, you come down and come to the monitoring and see it is using CPU somewhat okay. Count also okay. When I do, this is last only. Recent 1 minute I want. So recent 1 minute things you can see. So
I did that
line
one.
number, hmm,
Mm.
exception location post. Feature names must be have the length of number of data columns expected 11 got 13. Okay, 11 got 13. Response line number. I don't know, this will fix Copilot will every time write something if I ask something. It will
yeah,
ruin
this
your code.
Copilot. Nah,
It,
I prefer this Claude. Uh,
it
Claude
will
will
ruin the
get.
code actually. Yeah, Cloud
Mm,
CLI code is fine.
yes, better than this
Uh,
GitHub.
okay, like
This will give something and then we'll turn into the different route.
let's do one thing. Like the last values which I have passed in the that one, I'll just pass 23 and 1.71, 2.43,
Yeah,
15.6, something a random number or 6, 127, 2.80, 3.06, 0.28. No, it's telling that the root cause got because your SageMaker inference endpoints with the headers without header SageMaker miscounting. Okay, I don't have time to fix this and right. Let's go with like this. last time it worked and now it's telling that you 200 okay, post also okay. Now you're not getting any error with the post. Predict, get. Then why this is happening? Okay, let's see it here.
You have to refresh it, right? You have to run it again, right? Yeah,
I
just
have
try
run,
that.
I have run.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Okay.
0.5, 1.2, 0.3, something in this values it is expecting. Okay, let's say 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, let's say 6, 1, 4, 3. The code, I guess it is works perfectly when I ran last time lab. Everything has to fill. Calling invoke SageMaker. But if I call the same thing, you're getting output. These are all the values. If I pass. Okay, so there is a problem with this fast API, and I would fix the code and upload here. You can clone it from here. Are you all got it or not? So this is end user will see, and this end user, it's not like this UI. This model will work with the API in your front end application. Like you might be doing it same wine portal where you order, right? So if you order, delivery boy will come and deliver to you. So if you wanted to understand the wine quality which is best, you will fill the like same things, like you want alcohol how much, you want smoothness how much, all these values you fill over there, then it will suggest you this percentage is almost approximately match this wine, so that you can order, and that will tell you in this 30 minutes or 40 minutes that will be delivered to you. This is the one use case you can take, wine quality predictions. Okay, in the same
Yeah,
wine
yeah, sure.
quality, uh, you take any other data. You take house prediction, you take um, uh, arrival time, like estimated arrival time of any product. You take any data and do the same infrastructure setup. But the only thing, your parameters will get changed and your processing scripts will be changed. Like you have to apply some encoding and convert the data, which algorithm you wanted to use. Okay, so that is according to your use case, you have to take it. So if it's all good, then I'll show you the deletion process.
Yeah. So, Rajin, like, so what we have done so far, like this is kind of a no-code deployment. Sorry, I was in and out for this session. Just trying to summarize this.
So not a no code thing, actually.
Okay. Okay. Just for
What we have,
quick update, quick
yeah,
summarize in 2 minutes. That's it. Yeah.
GitHub repo, we created
Okay.
workflows to train and deploy. Okay.
Right.
And scripts we have for create, train pipeline, and deploy pipeline.
Mm,
Okay, so it is GitHub part. Then we created IAM roles and S3 bucket and MLflow server to log the experiments.
mm,
Okay, and then we ran we actually deployed the endpoint.
mm,
So AWS SageMaker side deployed the endpoint. That endpoint we deployed the fast API and we are invoking the endpoint from UI. So this is what we have
mm,
done. So
mm,
this one only exactly.
mm.
So the only
Okay, okay,
part
okay.
missing here, monitoring,
Mm,
retraining, evaluation. Evaluation like which is challenger, which is champion.
mm.
As of now, whatever this is very enough to understand your like the flow of ML ops.
Right, right. So here, that compute perspective, then we need one compute for MLOps and one compute for inference, uh, and one compute for just model training, right? Just we need only three machines, right? Here.
One mission only, one mission for train and one mission for deploy.
Okay. And then one machine for inference, where when end user can see, we cannot use one machine for all these three activities, right?
No, no, no. For if you when you do deploy, there itself you
Mm.
pass the inference.
Okay.
Okay, you pass the
Okay.
inference for it. Yeah.
Okay. So there, that machine will run, keep on up and running whenever that user is accessing that, then it will go on for. Okay. I see.
Yes.
ML flow also we need a machine, right? Compute, right?
Yes. No, 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 no need. CPU is enough. For MLflow, no need of GPU. No need of
Okay.
this. EC2 instance is enough, or your normal Kubernetes pod is enough.
Mm, mm, mm. But how is the performance, Rajini? Let's say if end users, let's assume a scenario, end users is accessing in Europe, right? Your
Mhm.
ML flow is sitting on US, right? So there will be a performance issue always, right? When you
No, 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 no.
capture all these logs.
The user hitting where? User hitting, you're asking like end user?
Mm,
End user hitting your model
mm,
on somewhere, and why end user things will log in MLflow? No, no, no,
mm,
that is wrong.
mm.
See, when you
Okay.
run your training process, sorry,
Mm.
your training things will log in the MLflow, not
Okay,
the
okay,
user predictions. User
okay, okay.
predictions and all, whatever predictions has done, it may going to run
Mm,
in some in-memory databases like your Redis or some other databases. There you can keep store your predictions. Let's say you and me are
okay.
there. I went to Amazon. I did something. I asked, okay. I went to a car purchasing website like Mahindra and I have selected all my things. I want 17 inches alloy wheel. I want this color. I want this one. I want this one. And I'm a job holder and I have
Mm,
some
mm, mm,
loan,
mm.
home loan, and I have some all the options he's asking over there. I filled all the options. With that options, however, how we are passing, similar way, they also take the same inputs like an inference and they will pass to the model. And the model will give prediction like you are eligible to take a loan for this car. Simple. That will write back in the
Mm.
portal. When it is right back in the portal, then we can actually use them. Okay, so that is how that model predictions will be happen on the website side.
Mm.
So that will not log in your ML flow. Those things will not. Whatever the prediction he
Okay,
has,
okay, okay.
that
I
is
got it.
done.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on
Only IT
username.
side will go into that ML flow,
Mm,
and the end user side will go into CloudWatch. Okay. Yeah.
yes, yes, exactly.
Okay. Right. I get
Cool.
confused. Just
So the
okay.
deletion process, if you come here, So first of all, delete your EC2 server. Okay, no need of this. Terminate this and come to your CloudWatch and delete your logs. Don't keep your logs. And come to your bucket and delete the bucket. First empty the bucket. Then after delete the bucket. Delete the bucket. That's it. And what we left with the endpoint things. So I don't want this, delete this. I don't want endpoints, so endpoint you can delete. Endpoint configuration you don't want, delete simply. Okay. And then what else we left?
IAM rules.
IAM rules are okay. Something I'm missing. Easy to deployable. Training jobs. Training jobs you cannot delete actually. To delete the training jobs, there is a command. If I come here, did I pass in it or not? I guess I have not passed in it. So where did I pass in notes? Stop things. No delete option. So probably I can come here. AWS SageMaker delete pipeline pipeline name. This is a pipeline name and region AP south 1. Wrong command. Delete it, given same command to me. When you're calling delete pipeline operation, ARN doesn't exist. This is a
It's asking
problem.
ARN, right?
Not
You give me the
delete.
pipeline name.
No. ARN with ARN, no. With the pipeline name itself, it is going to delete. So where I am
Mhm.
running, it is not in the EC2 instance, right? No. So if I run the same command, when I have authenticated here. So resource not found, delete pipeline, SageMaker, pipeline and pipeline exist. How I can do? Oh, there's a command here.
Sorry, can you click on action and you can delete over there?
No. Training jobs, we won't give the AWS won't give you to delete the option. We have to forcefully delete it actually. AWS SageMaker training pipeline delete command. Most probably it works like yesterday, before yesterday also we deleted, right?
Can you try the one more job? Try the one. Second one.
No. Something is fishy.
So can you list the pipeline so we will see that the command path is correct kind of thing it will show. AWS SageMaker list pipelines region. AWS SageMaker list.
So you have the pipelines here and pipeline summary.
It should show two, right? We are seeing only one. Okay.
SageMaker delete pipeline and pipeline name. This is the pipeline name actually. A region.
Delete pipeline backslash okay pipeline name find flow region AP South 1. Yes.
Hyphen delete. Delete hyphen.
Delete hyphen pipeline.
Yes, this is the one. Now, if I come here, okay, the pipeline got deleted, but problem with the training jobs. Here, SageMaker. Stop training job name. So the request is rejected because training job is in the success and completed.
I think no need of mentioning pipelines. Just stop training job. So anyhow, we don't want to write.
No, 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 I didn't not mention anyway. Pipeline is a pipeline name actually.
Because after that we are given double slash training job name, right?
Okay.
Stop.
So I guess it won't take, might be.
So no need to mention pipeline. Just AWS SageMaker stop training job.
Just a minute, just a minute, just
It
a
may
minute.
delete all too.
I guess there's a command. I forgot the command. I'll just ask Gemini. Just delete command for training jobs. That's so simple. Describe will come, however, but the delete, this is a problem with the delete actually. Okay, I'll find that. Let it be. I'll find that command. It's taking time, and we are 10:47. I'll pass it in the notes. There's a command I've explicitly used that to delete actually. SageMaker will not allow you to delete the training jobs. If you ask here, AWS SageMaker training jobs can be deleted. Actually, no. Yes, job state cannot be deleted. Training job, if currently in the in progress or stopping state, it must become stopped. Delete training. Hidden. That's the thing. This is the command. Control W, paste. Clean now. Your everything is clean. IAM roles you can delete. For me, I need them, so I'm keeping. For you, delete everything. Don't keep anything, otherwise it will bill on your account.
Sir, last day I asked like how to get free credentials,
Free
like
credentials for what?
for AWS. Like a new account, they'll give only 200, 100 you said last time, right? So
Yeah.
that's the same thing we need to use for this.
Yes, yes. Same credentials it will apply for you.
No,
So
I'm
you can
credits,
come
sir. Sorry, credits.
credits 200 credits it will come. Within the 200 credits you can complete the lab.
Okay.
Okay. So like 2-3 labs don't do much. 2-3 labs you can do with the SageMaker. So this whatever I shown with the labs and the integrations are much more enough to understand entire SageMaker. And if it is a case if advanced thing, there would be one case only adding more instances to it, and that's it. They'll do a continuous deployment, similar like us, only training, logging in the ML flow, checking, evaluating, and promoting. So most of the time, your SageMaker pipeline will trigger from your local only, not from the pipelines. Your deploy pipelines will only trigger from the GitHub Actions. Some people try wanted to use from the cloud code pipelines in the AWS, but that is a big problem. So problem means integrations, configurations, you never understand. And if you get one error, it is take a lot of time to debug it. That's the problem with the AWS SageMaker, I personally feel. Cool. So this is about this lab, and I hope you got a good information and good hands-on with this. If you perform the same lab, you'll understand in more deeper what it is connecting, what is happening, everything. Okay. So cool. We already from last 4 hours we are doing this, and thank you very much. We'll connect, I guess, day after tomorrow. So as I was informing in the first, when we are starting the labs, and we would be going with the one day after one day. Okay. So because you have to do this practice, so I'm going to give it as an assessment. Please clone the repository, see the notes, and execute it, please.